they picked up from the Spanish dancers that came over from Basque Country. The next parallel we're going to draw here is between Mexico and Spain and what happened there after the conquistadors were booted out. They, 1821, I believe, they lost, and they had to leave. They did conquer the Aztecs, but they couldn't conquer the Mayans. The Mayans were out in the jungles. They knew where the water was. They knew what roots they could eat. They knew what berries they could survive on. And the Spanish, they just couldn't keep up, couldn't find the water. So when they lost and they had to leave, the Mayans were waiting for all them at all the exits going on into America, the country. So they had to go south. They had to leave. But who was left behind were the ranchers. The ranchers were very prosperous. Whoever was in charge at the time left them alone. The Spaniards left them alone. They wanted their horses, cattle, chickens, pigs. They also farmed. So when Spain, when they had to leave, the new government did not want the ranchers to leave. They wanted them to stay, and the ranchers did not want to leave. They loved their land, they loved their animals, they loved where they were. They couldn't own the ranch, but they could stay there and make a profitable living on that ranch. Problem is, when the Spanish people all left and went down south to South America, they had nobody. These ranches were very far away from each other. So what they did is when they would have like weddings or, you know, a new baby's born or another celebration, they would send word out and all the different ranchers would come for the celebration and they would dance. And so what we're going to show you is a traditional Mexican ranch dance. And they actually have albums of music that feature, you know, just dances from a ranch. The one I chose is very unique because the singers do not sing in the Spanish language. They sing in their native tongue. So you're going to hear them singing. You won't figure out what they're saying. There's no way. And my husband and I experienced this firsthand. We decided we were going to go to a working ranch in Chile and count cattle and do stuff. And we just worked there. We said, okay. So we fly into Valdivia or whatever, and then we get this truck run. We're out in nowhere. I mean, nothing's around, no little towns, no little shops. And all the native people lived in little tiny houses, all dotted all along this huge ranch. So the first night, the host said, okay, we're going to have entertainment, we're going to dance. And we're like, okay. So in come these native people with their, you know, their native Chilean, you know, instruments. And they're singing, we didn't know what they were singing, but the beat, you could dance to it. So we're going to do a ranch dance from the turn of the century, the 1800s, but Wally and I experienced this firsthand. It was about in 2000. That tradition is still going on. You're a native, you work at the ranch, you speak your own language, except for things that they have to tell you to do. And if you want us to entertain for you, well, we will do whatever music you want, but we're not going to sing in your language. So we're going to have our dancers enter in as if they would be entering in. They're getting off their horses or their carriages, and they're going to come and dance with me at my ranch. We're going to celebrate.